Alright, let's see what we can do with this, shall we? Okay, let's see. I got this in Tennessee. It seems like pretty good stuff. I did take a couple flakes off earlier, but someone else did most of this flaking. I'm going to have to lose this part here because it's got weird cortex in it. I might be able to get a little arrowhead out of that one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I can get from the knapping area at the Knappings. Nobody wants to tackle this kind of stuff. Or they already did, and they took off the flakes they wanted. I can't remember if I got this from the knapping pit or from one of my buddies. And if the dogs start barking, I'll just wait until they stop barking before I start talking again. Okay, let's see. Yeah, nice. It's actually nice material. It's some kind of hornstone. Probably a mid-grade because it's got pockets of concrete. But as long as those pockets of concrete are not bad, I could even call it a high grade. Yeah, as long as the concrete's not bad. Let's see. Let's just see. I should be able to thin it down even with those pockets of concrete. But if not, I'll just keep it thick. Easy peasy. Why make it difficult? I haven't seen this kind of hornstone where the cortex is all into the middle as well. I got spoiled, I guess, because all the hornstone that I've knapped before, I made sure that I was ordering some good quality stuff. So I haven't really seen the bad quality stuff. This one I did not have to order. Nice. Pop goes the weasel on that one. Oh yes. Very nice. For those of you who are just listening, I popped off a little turtleback. Got it thinned down a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to preserve the colors. Yeah, I should be able to get several different colors in this. You know, the tan, the lighter colors, and the darker colors. The dark gray. Is that crystal? Well, I suppose it's all crystallized. But it's not that sparkly. The interior powdery areas, they're a little bit sparkly, but they're not that sparkly. The chert itself looks more sparkly than the inclusions Yeah, I'll switch over to indirect percussion. No sense in risking it. High quality stuff will break in half more often than not, if you're not careful. I should grind that further away from the phone, huh? For you guys that are ramping up the volume because you can't hear. Yeah, seems to work well with the steel. It's cooperative. It's not crushing very much, so hopefully that will continue. I do have to abrade. Let's see if I can power through. Yeah, I can power through some of that cortex, or those powdery inclusions. So I'm just going to regularize it around the edges. There's another turtleback right there, so I'll get to that in a minute. I might break out the little billet again. I'm using the abrading stone to abrade and to knock off the weak spots, like I would do with a hammer stone. And of course, take the shortcut of just grinding everything around the outside. All right. Yeah, just generically grinding it all around the outside so that I can opportunistically take some flakes. Yeah, if I hit hard, it does produce some results. Awesome. Some of the other stuff that I was recently napping, didn't matter how hard I hit, it was not going to cooperate. Yeah, that little spot right there is going to be an issue, I betcha. Let's get it straightened out before I start to think about how I'm going to attack that spot of powdery stuff. It's not crunchy, it's just powdery. Crunchy is when it produces a lot of step fractures. That did produce a step fracture, but it's right on the edge. So it's just a lump of powdery stuff. If I take a flake big enough, it might pop it right out. Not that way. I'm above center line, so it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, it's not going to pop it out. All right, so much for the shortcut. I'm going to have to get right up next to it. Come on. I think I crunched the edge of the good quality material. I crunched the good quality material trying to take a shortcut. Let's regularize some other areas first. Just because Come on. There we go. This better not get tougher as I approach the interior. I thought that was, yeah, that's what Texas rocks do. This is not supposed to get tougher as I get to the interior. Supposedly. Yeah, there's a crusty area right there, or a powdery area. It's interfering with the flaking. And there's a bigger one right there. So we got two areas that could be potential difficult areas to nap through. Let's try the tip first. If I take too much more off, I'm going to install a curve. I think, well, I already did it, install a slight curve. When you install a curve, there's a big chance you'll lose a lot of length. Or a good chance you'll lose a lot of length with a installed curve. Unless you leave the curve in. Let's see if I can pop this out on this side. Little turtleback or a little lump. Let's see if it did it. Yeah, but I see an issue with this. I see an issue with it. It's gonna rear its ugly head a little bit later. Yeah, the material around it is excellent, but those areas are not nappable. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna have some issues. All right. Now that I know what I'm in for, I gotta take a look and plan a little bit better. It looks like I'm going to be napping away a lot of the good quality stuff just so I can get through the bad quality stuff. That's always not good. But that's what happens when you try to maximize the nodule instead of just napping away all the bad stuff and seeing what you got. You try to maximize it and you've got to deal with the bad areas because you don't have any choice. You got to include the bad areas or it's not going to maximize it. Okay, we're starting to thin it down. Starting to thin it down. Yeah, it's starting to go to the islands as well. Yeah, I'm hitting extremely easily napped stuff and then extremely not easily napped stuff. Now I'm going to be doing a lot of these, trying to maximize the nodule type videos so I can show you the issues when trying to maximize. Because when you say on paper the best strategy is to maximize each nodule, it looks good on paper. When you get down to it, some of the issues that pop up are, in order to maximize it, you've got to include bad areas of the stone. You can't nap away those areas because it becomes really small in many cases. So it's actually not the most efficient strategy to try to maximize each piece. A lot of you already know that, and you say, well, I don't care because I need to learn how to maximize the biface so that I can maximize the money I make from these. Yeah, I know. But you wouldn't be asking me how to maximize if you were not running into problems. Right? Right. You're running into problems. How do you get rid of those problems? You know, one piece at a time. There's no strategy for everything. You just got to look. It's a case-by-case basis. That's what I was trying to say. It's a case-by-case basis. There's no general rule for how to maximize. Except maybe the general rule of be prepared to include the nasties in there with it. Be prepared. Yeah. Some of it, like I said, naps really well. The other stuff, on the other hand, naps like concrete, and they call it concrete for a reason. Yep. I think someone once asked me, have I tried to nap concrete? Because they napped it before. Some guys have told me, yeah, I've napped concrete. My brother or my uncle or my cousin gave me a piece of concrete from a construction site that they were demolishing, and I tried napping it, and it actually napped. What kind of concrete is it? Have you tried it? Have you tried any kind of concrete? Yeah, I've tried to nap concrete, and it's always terrible. Always. The only type of construction material that's similar to that I've napped is the floor tile. And the floor tile doesn't nap that well. But it is at least a little bit nappable. Trouble is with floor tile, the edges will crush. They don't really support the creation of long flakes because the edges will crush. You need a strong edge to create long flakes, because if you don't have a strong edge, it just blows away the edge and no flake results. No matter how hard you try to prepare the edges, it just crushes on stuff like floor tile. That's not to say that it won't work, because it does. I've seen some beautiful points made of it. And you can get good at it. Does it help you to, when it comes to napping stuff like this? Actually, yeah, it does help to understand what you're getting yourself into. But everything is a case-by-case basis. There's no general rule. I can't say, yeah, nap a bunch of floor tile before trying to nap through concrete on regular stuff, because it varies. Yeah, sometimes you need to hit extremely hard on a stone like this one, but it can take it. If you hit extremely hard on floor tile, a lot of times it can't take it and it'll snap. It's a very snappy type material if you're hitting it really hard. And most guys, when they're starting out, they can only get little bird points out of floor tile. They can't get long ones because it's snappy. It's snappy, it's steppy, it's crushy, it's got weird texture to it. It doesn't sharpen up that easy, and it doesn't stay sharp. It dulls very fast, the floor tile. You can hunt with it. Oh yes. But you know, it's a one-shot deal. You gotta sharpen it again. If it doesn't break, and if you want to use it again. I know guys that put their successful hunt points up on display. They don't use them twice. Which in that case you don't have to worry about it. Have I seen anybody with a floor tile success point up on their wall? Nope, not yet. I suppose there are. Okay, so I'm kind of really torturing this piece because I'm trying to get through some of this concrete. I got a feeling I took way too much off, and it'll be wonky. And I got that concrete on the edge where I did not want it. It's hard to sharpen. I was hoping for some wider flakes, but the flakes did not widen out. Sometimes the flakes will widen out and remove the concrete along with the good stuff, but this one didn't, unfortunately. You know, you can knap right next to the concrete areas if it has good stuff next to the concrete, and you take a big flake out of the good stuff, and sometimes it'll carry away the concrete that's within the good stuff. But in this case, it didn't. I was hoping for it, like right when I took this big old chunk out here, the chunk went that way. It didn't go into the concrete, unfortunately. Let's see if I can knock off a big chunk. Yes? No? It's trying to. Yeah, it's trying, but it didn't do it. So what do I do about this? See, I have good stuff right here that I can sharpen. I got to leave that in there on this one. This is as thin as I'm going to be able to get it. Unfortunately, it's going to have to stay. I don't see any other way to remove it. I want to be able to sharpen that edge. If I go right up next to that concrete, it's not going to be sharpenable. We can try to minimize it. Let's try to minimize it. I'm just going to hit the edges and stuff. See if anything goes. See if anything goes pop. Even if I make it more narrow, or much more narrow, I don't know if I could pop that out of there. I had a hard time popping this out. I didn't even get rid of all this on this side. There's no way I'm going to get rid of that big old patch. And it's got some weird stuff in the middle. It's crusty on the outside, but that patch has a hard core inside. Right there. I can nap that out of there and make a knife blade that's, you know, not symmetrical. I could nap that right on out of there, right? And just put in a little curved section right here, and it would be a knife blade. Yeah. And then I wouldn't have to worry too much about this back here, because that's the back of the blade. I just have to worry about this edge, and I can sharpen this edge pretty good. But it'd be really small. It wouldn't be maximizing the biface. You know what I mean? The edge would be small. So I would have been better off probably to just try to preserve the good material up here and make a point out of it. I could make a stemmed point, but nah, it'd be too small. Let's see, it's only been 26 minutes. I'm going to put this to the side and try something else. Try another rock to point. This one, I don't know what it is. I think this is Texas rock. But it has a crack in it right there. We'll see how far that goes. It's not bad. The quality doesn't seem too bad. And yeah, I'm going to try to maximize it. I can hear that crack. I can tell it's cracked already. I mean, there's no ring to it. I mean, it's not going to be ringing that much when it's this thick, but it already feels, it sounds pretty bad. Well, that's kind of a good sign. It didn't pop off with those taps. But I don't know how deep that crack goes. Got a little inclusion right there. The inclusion got bigger. Good thing I tested the other side too, huh? Come on. Nasty. Okay. It's good quality stuff. Just like the other one. Good quality mixed with bad quality. I think I got it that time. I found out where the crack was. You can see the difference in the patina. So that crack did run deep. But I can make stuff out of those. They're just going to be clunky to begin with. What else do I got? I didn't want to do this, but I'm gonna hit on this Rhyolite. Why did I not want to do this? I don't know if I can get it any thinner than this. That's not too bad. Yeah, thin flake of Rhyolite. Nothing like a thin flake of Rhyolite. Yep. Why? You don't have to do too much to it. That's the secret of knapping rhyolite. You start out with a thin flake. That one was pretty tiny. Let's see if I can install some step fractures, shall we? And yeah, I'm trying to maximize it, but the tip is too thin. I gotta take a little bit back, a little bit off, take it back a little bit. And the edges are too thin for what I want to do. Yeah, I tried hitting thin edges and I got these step fractures right there. Now this rhyolite probably comes from North Carolina. Actually got a lot of stuff from North Carolina. You guys that think you don't have rock there. You might not have good rock, but you got rock there. Let's see. I think this comes from North Carolina. It's a type of fine-grained rhyolite or is silicified sandstone. Right? That's what this is, silicified sandstone. What else you guys got? You guys got the good old quartz like this from North Carolina. What else? This green North Carolina rhyolite, which isn't too bad. This is North Carolina stuff. Someone else did that little biface. Oh yeah, another piece of fine-grained North Carolina green rhyolite. It's similar, but they have different grades of rhyolite. This one's a fine-grained piece, this big flake. And I think this is ortho quartzite from North Carolina. I took a few flakes off of this end and it looked pretty nasty, so I'll wait on that one. So that's what you got. You got quartz and rhyolite in North Carolina. So it's not unnappable, especially the fine grain stuff. Just don't go on public lands and find it. You got to go to private property. I don't think you can collect it on public lands. I think I was told that, yeah, don't go to national parks or monuments and collect it there. Just find someone that has it on his property. Yeah, find someone that has this kind of rhyolite on their property and you'll probably be set because there's a bunch of it. Yeah, and you can get thin flakes that you can knap around the edges. Why am I taking so much off the length? Because it was curved. When it's curved, you got to remove some length. Now, can I run long flakes on this? We're about to find out. Should I thin it anymore or just shape it and use it as an axe or something? Should I try to thin it down and make an actual point out of it? Or should I just leave it pretty much in this shape and not use it as a point but make like an axe head out of it, for example? This worries me. I'm not sure I'll be able to thin it. See all those steps? I mean, that's some serious steppage. It's not too bad at this stage, but when it gets real thin, is that going to step like that? And we're going to get the step stairway to Hades. Yeah, these steps go down. They don't go up anywhere. Yeah. steps on Rhyolite, they don't go upward, they go downward. They go downward into the pits of despair and misery. I have a feeling I'm going to have to grind this a lot. But it grinds easy. All right, let's try to take one reasonably sized flake. I think it did it. But yeah, it did it. But see, it didn't release. Where'd it go? I'm trying to figure it out. I think it went here and here. Voila. Yes, it did. Look at that. That's surprising to me. All right. All right, North Carolina. That's not bad. Come on. Just a little flake. I could do a big flake. Just let me regularize it a little bit. All right. Uh-oh. Yeah. I'm going to have to be very careful with it because if it naps, it naps well. If it doesn't very well either. It's really good at being bad and really good at being good. Yeah. I'm adapting to this on the fly, so I'm not sure if I'm approaching this in the best way possible. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that again with a nice big flake. It feels really steppy right there. And it could be just it could be the grain within the Rhyolite. This might have grain in it. I don't even know. Does Rhyolite have grain in it so that it'll nap well in a certain direction but not in the other direction? I don't know. I don't see any good opportunities. All right. I got to regularize the edge and get rid of step fractures near the edge. Maybe that'll help. I mean, it usually does, but saying that I'm going to remove steps around the edge sounds good, but I might not be able to remove those step fractures from around the edge. I'm going to have to get it really narrow. Yeah, with this style of napping, I'm just gouging everything out. Who knows? I don't know how this pressure flakes either. It might not pressure flake. I might be telling you to nap around the edges when you won't even be able to nap around the edges. Well. Okay, so if I take a deep gouge, it'll release. But then I'm going to have a very wonky edge. Deep gouges will help it to release flakes, but then the edge is very irregular. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, I don't like that kind of stuff going on. See that? I don't like that because that means it might be layered. When it does something like that, it might actually have layers in it. Or maybe I put it in an incipient. Yeah, I don't know. I got this one for free, by the way, so I'm not too worried about messing it up. It would be nice to have a big old Rhyolite piece that doesn't look too bad. It'll probably go under 6 inches and become lame, but right now it's 6 3/8 inches. I might lose length on it if I run into some problems. I don't know how easy it is to snap the tip off. It's been a while since I napped Rhyolite, and I haven't napped this type. This is very, very coarse grained, but not difficult to nap type stuff. It's really not that difficult to nap. It's just the results from the flaking are weird. It doesn't really break with an exactly textbook conchoidal fractures, you know what I mean? It flakes, but the bulb is very small. The surface doesn't have waves in it. It's just flat. It might have layers in it. It's got inconsistencies, like that lighter area. It doesn't feel the same. And it takes bites out of the edge. See, I just took a bite out of the edge when I didn't think it was going to do that. And yeah, I took a bite out of the edge and I used the steel. I did not use wood or something like that. See how that has that circular break? A lot of people say if you nap Rhyolite with wood, that's when you get that, but I just napped it with steel and got the same thing. So I think that any material will cause those bites. Hammerstone, antler, or steel, or copper, it'll all do the same thing. Depending on how you hit it, of course. You know, I'm taking large bites or large gouges out of the edge because I know that's what's going to remove a flake. I'm hitting up higher. You know, normally I'd be like right about there, about 32nd of an inch inward, but I'm going like 1/8 of an inch inward, and I'm getting bites out of the edge. Yeah, and if I don't do it that way, they don't go very far. If I don't risk taking a bite out of the edge, these flakes are not going far. If I hit the edge and try to trim it like a hammerstone, I get a lot of crackly step fractures. So I can't be hitting the edge with the Abrader very much, which is a bummer because I usually like to do that. Now, even when I took a big gouge out, that didn't work very well. Let's see if that one works. Yeah, I'm having to hit high up on the platform with a substantial grinding to get clean flakes, but it still ended up not terminating with a feather termination. The edges get really thin though, which is not a good thing unless you're going to use it as is. It's not a good thing because, you know, you got to take back the edge to make it strong for the next strike, which means you lose a lot of width, which means you've got to lose all the width in the beginning first and then knock off these big old flakes and then use whatever you have left as the edge. So that seems to be the strategy with this. Get it to the general shape first and then knock off these big flakes that will thin the edge down, instead of trying to nip around the edges with little flakes, because the little flakes just end up crushing it. But that style of knapping is something I don't do very often. I don't usually come up with a thick, fat preform and then do the final sharpening with large flakes. I don't normally do that at all. So I'll put this aside. I really don't want to knap it because I know where this is going to go. This is going to be a very narrow piece with a lot of step fractures. Okay. Until I can come up with a better way to knap this. If I want it thin. If I don't want it thin, it's easy. But if I want to thin this down, like some of the artifacts have, you know, they're thin rhyolite pieces, I'm going to have to knap that in a different way. Okay. And I got a bigger piece too, which I got for free as well. Let's see. Is it the same stuff? Oh yes, it's the same stuff. Yeah. And it has a cortex. So you guys can see what it looks like out in the field, right? You guys can find this stuff? No? I don't know. Gotta look harder, I guess. I get guys from North Carolina all the time going, I don't have no stone. None of it. This place is just limestone and sand. North Carolina sucks. You got rhyolite somewhere. Just gotta find out where to get it. Go to some Knappings. The guys from Kentucky don't have any problem going to Knappings. What's up? They're gonna get all the good stone and you're not gonna get it. This is Texas stuff, heat treat. I don't know if I should be hitting on this. After hitting on that rhyolite, this is like opposite. This is opposite of rhyolite. Oh yes. So easy. But this has issues. I gotta make sure that I eliminate the issues. It's got cracks in it. Yeah, it's got weathering cracks. The heat treat makes it easy to remove the flakes though. Oh yes, and I can make some nice bird points. There's some, I have real artifacts made from this stuff. Oh yes. How do I know it's this stuff? Because it's got this weird look to it where it's got these white spots. It's translucent, semi-translucent. It's got that luster to it, waxy. Yeah, I got artifacts made from this. They're probably heat treated. almost skinned it off. There's some, you can see how there's a waviness toward the end of that strike. See that? I don't like that when it happens, but I get some good pieces. I can nap that. I don't like it when it's too wavy toward the end of the termination, but beggars can't be choosers. I did not get this for free, by the way. I had to buy this. I buy the good stuff. I mean, the good stuff is usually only for sale. You don't find it. Well, it's heat treat, obviously, but you don't normally find good stuff anymore because people have already pretty much come in and taken it all if it's on the surface. Yeah, and they're scouring the landscape 24/7. Oh yes. Some guys are tireless when looking for rocks on the surface. They don't get tired of doing it, and they will find it all. That's why a lot of guys now are digging. Using backhoes to find flint. Oh yes. Let's see, is that a good piece? Oh yeah, I can do something with that. The cortex is a little dicey. It's got really high quality stuff just under the cortex, but that stuff, when you heat treat it, often gets a little bit too delicate. But yeah, I got, ooh, that's a crack. Dang it. Crack right there. I can't do much with it, but I can do something with that piece. I'll go through these pieces down here and collect what is usable later. There's a crack right here. Hopefully not too deep. I'm just going to go around and knock off all the weak spots, see where I am, see what I can hit. What can I hit? Some of you guys are going to say, well, you're going to hit right in the spot you're not supposed to. Oh, you know it. I'm going to hit exactly where I'm not supposed to. This looks good though, even though I'm hitting where I'm not supposed to. I like it. I say that because there's always somebody that's smarter than me, or that's smarter than I am, and they're right. I don't do it in the best way possible. Sometimes I don't know why. I prioritize certain areas over other areas. And why sometimes I abrade and sometimes I don't. I don't know. Pretty random because it just keeps it interesting. I don't like doing it too systematically because it's irritating when you do it systematically and you don't get the results you want. At least for me, if I'm extremely careful and I don't get the results I want, well, if I'm not going to get the results I want, Why try to be extremely careful? Just haphazard it. Yeah, it's a Flintknapping term. You can haphazard it. Oh, I like it. I like those. In case you're not watching, that was just a nice flake. Perfect size. Heat treated and everything. Already heat treated. I can make a bird point out of that one. Kill some birds. You're gonna kill some birds? Don't kill the birds. Well, if they're invasive species, I shoot those all the time. I got a pellet gun. I shoot those little sparrows and starlings that are invasive. And I got some collared doves around here too that are invasive. Shoot those. Pretty easy to tell the difference between those and the wild doves, the natural ones, or the native ones, I should say. They got different markings around their neck, and their feathers are slightly different, and the invasive ones are fatter. Yeah, they're plump. Good eating. The invasive collared doves are good eating. Oh, yes. My kids used to say, "Dad, you're not going to eat that. It's from the backyard." Why not? It's gross. Well, you don't have to eat it. I will barbecue it. You know, I'll give you the barbecue meats that I'm cooking in, but I'm going to put my little dove here on the side. Oh, yes. You don't have it. The less you eat of it, the more for me. So nice compared to the Rhyolite. Oh, yes, look at that. And I try that with Rhyolite and I just get steps on the edge. That's the difference. I try this with Rhyolite and I just get steppy edges. But with this stuff, I gotta be careful because it sometimes naps way too good. Yep. Oh, yes. Heat treat, high quality heat treat is #1 favorite with me. After that, it's the high quality raw stuff. I like the high quality raw Hornstone. Of course, that's nature's heat treat, but and a lot of the other high quality stones. Some of the jaspers. But my favorite is this kind of heat treat. The kind that's good all the way through and thick enough for me to thin it down and remove the cortex and get all the cracks out. Oh yes, so much better than trying to do some challenging stuff with quartzite or Rhyolite. But if that's all I got is quartzite and Rhyolite, I'd be napping the heck out of it. Oh yes. And I'd be changing the channel if someone talks smack about my quartzite. Okay, time to switch over to indirect percussion. Yes, maybe. A couple more big old flakes. Maybe a couple more big old flakes. Let's see. Oh yeah. No cracks in that one, which is good. Good. Maybe I'll be able to get rid of the square edge now with this weird cracking going on. There's another big flake right there. I just got to improve the edge. I can't leave all those cracks in the edge to remove the flake in that direction, because it'll flake all weirdly. All right, let's see what we got. Did it do it? Ah, yes. Well, it wasn't as flat as I thought it would be, but it's good enough. I can use it. I can use these flakes. Well, maybe not that one, but well, just have to just as is. Yeah. It's razor sharp on both sides. I don't need to do anything to it. Just put it on the arrow. It'd be good. Just like that. You might be saying, just like that? Why don't you do them all like that? Yeah. Those are opportunistic. You can't do them all like that. You can take a shortcut and you know, have one arrow in your quiver that has one of those. Save you some time. But you can't do them all like that. 'Cause that's just luck. Is there evidence that they had those in their quivers? No, it's just a thought experiment and speculation and all that. But that's what I would do. Heck, if I could save an hour and a half, I'd stick this on the end of an arrow. Look how straight that is. Look how razor sharp. It's probably the one that would penetrate the best out of all my arrows in my quiver. And it's just a flake. Yeah. So why not? Be stupid not to. Unless there's some kind of weird bad luck. It's showing up all the other ones. Yeah, you don't want to disrespect all the other arrowheads. Yeah. So what am I going to do? Am I going to stop here? No, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to try to take off this cortex and then I'll stop. Because this is not a video for refining the bifaces. This is just a, I don't know what to call it. Cracking into the craciola pudding. I don't know. Where's my mallet? Don't make me use, okay, here it is. I was going to say, don't make me use my aluminum mallet. I don't want to hit metal on metal with this stuff. It's not necessary. And it might have this weird effect. If I put too much force into it. Yeah, sometimes it leaves too many incipients. Incipient cracks. Too much force sometimes leaves too many incipient cracks. And some of you guys are saying, oh no. First you say not enough force is bad. And now you're saying too much force is bad. Why? Why is my life like this? Just telling you the truth, dude. But why? Can't you just pretend it's not so miserable? I can pretend, yeah. You want to mess around? You want to mess around with rocks? It's on you, man. I can pretend it's not bad. But then you're gonna try it, and you're gonna get all. Why didn't you warn me? Actually, nobody says that. Like, they kind of expect it. Like, yeah, you guys know what you're getting into. You're going to be hitting rocks. And rocks normally, before you were a flint napper, rocks were something that you would abused. Crushed into little bits. Because it was in your way or it was in your... It was on your land and you would ruin your equipment on it. Trying to clear it. Or whatever. You and Rox did not get along, let's just say. And now you got to, you know, lovingly try to get arrowheads out of it. It's not going to be easy. What's going on with this edge? This is a weird edge here. Okay. The billet was doing a better job. I might hit it with the billet. Steel might be too harsh. I got aluminum. I should use aluminum on the next indirect percussion pass. Let's do the billet. Yes, okay. Didn't go as far as I wanted though. That's the only problems. Yeah, they don't go as far as I want. All right. We're gonna have to put in some gusto into these strikes. Yeah. I didn't want to. It made me do it. Dang it. And I didn't even release that flake. I hit right there. See where the aluminum is? That was supposed to go in here and clear this out. But it solved that problem. I get offered this as one of the Brooks and bifaces in a box, yeah. Let you guys snap this. But that's unfortunate because I did pay for this one. Hindsight is always going to be best, right? For these things, I could have just continued with the indirect percussion and suffered through that and not broken it, rather than taking the chance on the billet. Okay. All right, but I got good pieces. What else? I still got a bunch of this heat treat. Okay, so it's not a total loss. It's not as big as that one. Got another one that's pretty good. I'm going to save this. So it's not a total loss. I still got... That was one of my bigger pieces, but I still have... Still got potential with this other one too. Okay. And you don't know what I got. You don't know. I got this one. See that? So I'm not upset. I can try to get something else. See that? You thought that was a big piece. Look at that. But this is not heat treat. The big one. It's so nice, I don't even know if I want to break into it. It's beautiful. So it seems, but it's raw. It's not heat treat, so it's going to be weird. Yes, it is. It's going to have different areas in it. I'm not going to be able to get the whole thing napped. Unless I nap it off camera very slowly and carefully. I'm not going to nap that on camera, because I'll break it. Yeah. All right, so what do I have to show? Let me get out my stuff that I napped. I don't have much to show. That one didn't go all that well. But there's a variety in this video. 3 different... Is that it? Look at that debitage. I didn't nap anything else, did I? Where did this come from? There is another one in here. Where is it? Yeah, where'd this one come from? Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, that was in 2 pieces. I can't even find that one anymore. All right, so that's the thumbnail. I'll sort through these flakes in a little while. I gotta go to bed. Okay, let's see. I'll sort through them and pick out the good stuff tomorrow. And I gotta do some heat treats. So I got a bunch of this Tennessee Creek chert. I need to heat treat. See if it heat treats anything like Buffalo River, because that's what it reminds me of. If it does not nap like Buffalo River, I got a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to be able to nap. Well, not nap easily. All right. There you go. There's a, let's see, zoom out. There's a thumbnail. Some in there somewhere. Okie doke. Alrighty. That's it.